Okay, so I've prepared a quick presentation covering an introduction to psychology and mindset. So this is going to be valuable for anyone who hasn't really looked into trading psychology before. It's going to give you a bit of an insight as to what drives emotional trading and some steps to really take action on helping that. So if you find that you're taking a lot of unnecessary losses, maybe you start the trading day with great intentions to follow your plan. And then at the end of the day, maybe you've taken big losses or you've received a breached account email, and you're sat at the end of the day wondering like what happened, what took over me. It tends to be our emotions that have taken over control, and that's what we call emotional trading. In other words, tilt. Okay, so this is giving you an introduction into your psychology and basically how to start fixing that. So we're going to cover our two minds, the limiting beliefs, four types of fear, tilt, and how to keep a trading journal. It's not in too much detail. I'm going to save the trading journal training for another day, but just a quick introduction. So starting with part one, which is psychology. And if you follow me, you probably know that I love quotes. So I've got a lot of quotes sprinkled in here. And this one is 90% of trading is getting yourself into the right state of mind. I think a lot of traders in their first couple of years are too obsessed with technical analysis, too obsessed with trying to predict the market. And I was one of those traders. But my real breakthrough moment was whenever I started taking psychology and mindset seriously. I had a strategy that worked. I'd back tested it. I knew it was profitable, but I just couldn't see the results that I wanted from it in the live markets. And that's whenever I realized how important our mindset actually is. You could have the most profitable, high win rate, amazing strategy ever. And if you bring the wrong mindset to the charts, you're not going to get the results you want, right? You're going to take losses. So even though having a backtested profitable strategy is really important, understanding technical analysis and having experience is really important, it's also really important that you come with the right mindset to trading. So we're going to dive into our two minds, which is our conscious and subconscious. So our conscious mind is what generates intentional thoughts, actions, and awareness. So this is the part of our mind we use whenever we set goals for ourselves, right? So whenever we sit down and create a trading plan, we are using our conscious mind, right? It's whenever you step outside of your comfort zone by taking action on things like going to the gym or eating healthy whenever you don't want to, right? Whenever you're craving like McDonald's or some fast food or bad food, and you consciously decide, no, I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm going to eat something healthy tonight. So that's using your conscious mind. You also use your conscious mind whenever you apply logic to solve a new problem. Whereas on the other hand, we have our subconscious mind, which is where we store our beliefs and values, right? So this is what influences our behavior without us realizing. And like I mentioned at the start there, whenever you go into tilt and at the end of the trading day, you ask yourself, like, what took over me? I had no control over my actions. That's your subconscious mind, right? This is the part of our mind use whenever we breathe. So on average, we take around 22,000 breaths a day. And just ask yourself, like, how many of those breaths are you actually conscious of? Unless you're consciously taking deep breaths or doing some sort of breath work, we do that automatically, right? So that's very similar to our subconscious mind, how it drives us to take actions automatically. And another example is whenever we react quickly to a car driving too fast by jumping out of the way. And if you randomly start singing a song and you don't know where it came from, right? Maybe you walked past the shop and it was playing on the radio, that has went into your subconscious, and now you're singing it because your subconscious has absorbed that song. So a non-trading example before we move into a trading example of our subconscious mind and how it controls us is if you've ever felt fed up with your weight, whether your goal is to gain weight or lose it, and you've made a decision that you're going to eat better and exercise, right? We've all been through this, I'm sure, multiple times, where you just feel fed up, you decide you're going to make a change. So you make a plan and you tell yourself, right, this is it. Most of you have probably done it on New Year's for the start of the year. So following that, you decide you want to go for a run, eat healthy for one day, and you're doing exactly what you said you would, and you feel really confident for it, right? You're following your plan, you're doing what you said you were going to do. But then the next day, you're busy. Maybe you were driving home late from work, you haven't ate all day, and you see McDonald's. So you drive through the drive-through, right? Because it's convenient. And then afterwards, you remember that the goal you set for yourself was to eat healthier, right? And then you feel really annoyed at yourself. Now, the trading example of this is if you feel fed up with over leveraging, maybe you keep blowing accounts and you keep taking big losses, right? And you're tired of it. So you decide, right, that's it. I'm going to start using proper risk management. I'm not going to risk any more than 0.5% of my account per trade. And that's it, right? Maybe you sit down and create a really detailed trading plan and you promise yourself, I'm going to follow this. So maybe on day one, you do what you said you would. You minimized your losses, you reduced your risk, and you feel great because you feel like you've got this newfound discipline, right? And you feel, okay, I'm disciplined now. This is the new me. I'm the trader that I said I wanted to be. However, the next day you might become impatient. Maybe you didn't have a good sleep. Maybe you haven't been outside, got some fresh air, haven't been looking after yourself. So your emotions are quite heightened. So you might get impatient, you go back to over leveraging because it's what you know, and then you end up blowing your account through tilt. So these are examples of how we use our conscious mind to set goals, right? And then our subconscious mind creeps in and takes over control of our actions. And the reason this happens is because 95% of our brain activity goes beyond our conscious awareness. So whenever we set that goal for improvement, we used our conscious mind. We were fully aware, we were intentional with our new way of thinking. However, whenever we forgot by reverting back to our old ways, our subconscious mind was in control, right? And that's where our habits, actions, and emotions go beyond our conscious awareness. So whenever we remembered our goal and felt annoyed at ourselves in those examples, that was us using our conscious logic mind again, right? Another quote is the subconscious mind makes up about 95% of who we are. Only 5% of our thoughts and actions are conscious, right? So if you feel like you keep taking the right actions toward the person you want to be, or using the discipline to trade to follow your trading plan, but then maybe once a week, once a month, you just find yourself right back to where you started. It's because you're using your conscious mind to take those actions, but your subconscious mind is taking over, right? Because our subconscious makes up the majority of our mind, 95%. So unless we really sit down and analyze our thoughts, behaviors, and beliefs to really figure out what we need to rewire, then our subconscious mind is going to continue to control us on the charts, right? So if you find yourself taking a lot of losses from emotional trading, then diving into your subconscious mind, figuring out what's actually going on in there, what needs rewritten, is going to help you to trade with less emotions when you're live trading. So the subconscious mind stores information from everything you've ever experienced without your awareness. It doesn't it doesn't know right from wrong, it just accepts, right? It has a huge influence over your thought patterns and behaviors. So it basically runs us on autopilot. We don't develop a conscious mind until the age of 7. So up until we're 7 years old, our mind is fully subconscious, meaning we're a sponge to the values and beliefs in our surroundings. So you've heard the saying that apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Basically, unless we reprogram our subconscious mind, we will struggle to find power in our way of thinking, as we will forever carry the same thought and behavior patterns as those who raised us, including both family members and teachers. Now, the majority of people who step into trading don't come from a wealthy background, right? Most of us probably grew up, wishing for more, and that's what drives our motivation to make a lot of money from the charts, right? So if you were brought up in an environment where money was lack, then it means that you carry beliefs around money that's going to hold you back from making money on the charts, right? And I'm going to talk you through an example in a bit. But basically, if you want to become the first millionaire in your family, then you have no choice but to reprogram your mind. And you've probably heard the quote that we are the outcome of the 5 people we spend the most time with, right? If you look around and see the 5 people that you spend the most time with, family, friends, if they don't have a money drive attitude, if they don't have this ambition to improve themselves, it's going to be even difficult for you to do that, because you're basically breaking generational curses. You're leading the people around you towards that personal development journey, and it's not easy, right? Because of peer pressure, social pressure, you do have to just kind of step outside of what everyone's expecting from you to do these types of things. So it's not easy to reprogram your subconscious mind, but whenever you take those first steps and you see the results, it becomes addictive, and then you'll be set on that journey. So we've talked about the importance of reprogramming our subconscious mind, and now we're going to talk about how to actually do it. This is just an introduction. I will go into deeper detail in future trainings. But I want to talk about brainwaves. So millions of signals communicate with each other and produce electrical activity in our brain, right? every minute of every day. So we can measure this through different types of brain waves. So each wave can be used to determine our levels of consciousness. And there's these are the different types of brainwave frequencies. We have gamma waves, and this is usually whenever we're concentrating, focusing, learning. So if you're paying attention on this training, then you're probably operating in gamma waves. Beta waves is during most awake activities. So it could be, when you're brushing your teeth, things you do every day, driving to work, stuff like that, right? You're not concentrating, you're not focusing, you're not learning something new. You're just awake and doing an activity that you're used to. Alpha waves is whenever you're relaxed or sleepy. So it's just before you drift off into sleep. Also through meditation and stuff like that. Theta waves is during stage 1 and 2 sleep, which is your light sleep. So when you're not quite in a deep sleep yet, maybe you're just falling into a deeper sleep. And then delta waves is during your stage 3 deep sleep, right? But the alpha and theta waves is what's most important for reprogramming our subconscious mind, because these are, this is how you access your subconscious mind, right? Is whenever your brainwave frequencies are a lot slower, not when you're in a deep sleep, but whenever you're still alert, but it's slower. And you can access the alpha and theta wave states in the first 15 minutes in the morning after you wake up, because that's whenever you're coming out of your deep sleep, you're in your alpha and theta before you move into your beta, right? You can also access it whenever you're tired before you drift off to sleep. And if you want to access it during the day, it's whenever you meditate. So you can intentionally push yourself into these brainwave frequencies through meditation. So whenever, just let me reset that. So first thing in the morning and last thing before you sleep are the best times to rewire your subconscious mind. You can recite positive affirmations, visualize your goals, or focus on gratitude, or else meditate, right? So if you just type into YouTube, you can get 10-minute guided meditations for sleep or for mornings, for energy, for all that stuff, right? So you have the guided meditations there on YouTube. But with regards to positive affirmations, I'm going to show you and talk you through a task that you can do to create positive affirmations that are personal to your limit and beliefs and what you need to rewire. With regards to visualizing your goals, I would recommend creating a vision board and having it somewhere that you can see when you wake up first thing in the morning. Like I have a little sign beside my bed that I can see when I wake up that says, what can I do today to make myself 1% better than yesterday? And when I wake up in the morning and I see that, it reminds me to check my habit tracker, to check my whiteboard, and to really ask myself, like, what did I do yesterday that I want to improve on? Maybe I skipped the gym, maybe I didn't eat right. So just little things like that, 1% improvements every single day compounds a lot. So you can have a vision board somewhere, maybe on your screensaver of your phone or your laptop, somewhere you see in the morning. That's going to help you to reprogram your subconscious mind by seeing those things. Or focusing on gratitude, something I do every morning. I haven't actually done it in a few weeks, I'm not going to lie, but I did do it every single day for a couple of years. I've just been procrastinating on it lately because I've been so busy. But one of the first things I done in the morning was whenever I woke up, I would think of 3 things I'm grateful for. And another way you can do this, if maybe one of your goals is to drink more water in the morning, is take a drink of water with each gratitude. So think of something you're grateful for, take a drink of water, then do it 2 more times, right? And that's going to shift you from a lack mindset to an abundant mindset. And from the very first quote at this training, which is you need to bring the right mindset to the charts, shifting your mindset from lack to abundance first thing in the morning by focusing on gratitude is going to help you to have a lot more patience and to prevent fear trading whenever you're trading your sessions that day. So it's really, really important that you have some sort of pre-trading ritual or else some sort of like morning routine that helps you to just slow down and focus on affirmations, gratitude, positive mindset, and then that's going to help you to trade with less emotions on the charts. So talking about meditation puts us into a state of relaxation, which allows us to access the deeper layers of our mind. In other words, our subconscious mind, where our core beliefs and habits are stored, right? So through meditation, you will bring to surface the areas needing reprogram for success. Not straight away, but the more you do this, the more you're going to build self-awareness and the more you're going to be able to access those limiting beliefs that are blocking you from reaching success. So just an example, it's not the best example, but if you self-sabotage in the charts, right? So just say You don't hold on to winning positions. Every time you have a winning position, you close it early, and you're holding on to your losers for longer, and you're always giving the market back your profits, right? So you know how to make money. You know how to follow a trading plan. You know how to hit your targets and whatnot, but it's just that you're taking a few different actions where it feels like every time you get close, you're one step forward, two steps back, right? Well, through meditation, consistent meditation over a long period of time, you might access a memory from your childhood. Maybe one of your parents taught you that money must be earned through hard work. Therefore, your subconscious is taking over control. And every time you make a lot of money with a single trade, you're actually self-sabotaging, because your limiting belief is contradicting what your goals are on the charts, right? So therefore, I carry a belief system that is against making easy and fast money, hence why every time you get close to a huge win, you mess it up. So these are the types of reflections that you may find whenever you're meditating, journaling your emotions, journaling your trades and stuff. The key is to really sit down with yourself and observe your thoughts and find patterns so that you can figure out what needs rewritten. And that's how you're going to reprogram your subconscious mind. So no matter whether a core value such as money must be earned through hard work, no matter whether that helps or hinders us, it does influence our behavior, right? So our core belief system is a part of our identity. Our ego forces us to act in a way that proves our belief is correct. And the ego loves to be right, okay? So even though this type of belief doesn't serve us in trading, it's still going to control us until we actually sit down and rewrite it. So the key is to identify which beliefs are working against us so we can rewire them in a way that will push us towards success, not hold us back from it. So I mentioned guided meditation, but if you're new to meditation, it's going to feel a little uncomfortable. It won't feel like you're doing it right. You won't be sure if it's even making a difference, but it's compounded, right? The first couple of times you might feel good, after you might not. I think it's most important that you just stay consistent with it, and it only takes 10 minutes a day. Right, 10 minutes is all you need. You can also get 5-minute guided meditations. So you can start, I say 5 minute here, but I would recommend 10. Start by typing into YouTube 10-minute guided meditation and do it daily, right? Over time, you'll find it easier to connect the dots between your problems and your solutions. 5 to 10 minutes a day is all it takes for huge results in the long term. And let's move on to limiting beliefs. I quickly want to just add a note about the meditations, actually. So whenever you start to build self-awareness through journaling your emotions, whenever you're journaling your trades, you might start figuring out, right, today I feel impatient, or today I feel anxious, today I feel that I have FOMO, today I feel like I'm in a lack mindset because I'm worrying about money. There's a 10-minute guided meditation for everything, right? Even if you're struggling to get to sleep, just type in 10-minute guided meditation for sleep. But whenever you build up that self-awareness and you figure out what's maybe holding you back that day, maybe you feel impatient, like you're jumping on the charts first thing in the morning, you're looking for setups, then you might realize, actually, impatience is driving me today. Then you can go on to YouTube, type in 10-minute guided meditation for patience, and that's going to help you to feel a lot more patient. I highly recommend meditation. It makes a big difference. So moving on to limiting beliefs, and this is the task that I'm going to give you, is to help you to personalize your positive affirmations for you. So the quote here is, traders have free will. The reason 90% lose isn't due to skill, it's because they carry a belief system that leads them to failure, right? The fact that so many traders lose in this industry has nothing to do with technical analysis. It has nothing to do with strategy. It has all to do with mindset. Yes, I'm sure there's plenty of traders who are trading systems that aren't profitable because they haven't backtested it. But I'm talking about the traders who have systems that do work, but they're not getting results they want. They're not profitable with it. It's due to a belief system that's holding them back. A limiting belief is a state of mind or belief about yourself that restricts you in some way. And here's some examples of limiting beliefs is, I'm not smart enough, I don't have time, no one wants to listen to me. I think we all have that little voice in our head that tries to talk us down. That is our limiting beliefs. So I'm going to talk through how to identify which limiting beliefs are holding you back from reaching your fullest potential. So this is a step-by-step task that you can do after this call. I'm recording this session, so you can find it on my YouTube channel after, and you can go through the slides again and do this in your own time. But the first step is to grab a pen and a piece of paper after this call. Bullet point a list of around 50 beliefs that you have about yourself. Don't think, just do, right? Don't try to don't try to think, oh, what would other people think if they read this, or don't be biased in what you're writing down. Just let the thoughts flow straight from your mind to paper. No hesitation. No one is going to see this list but you. So be honest with yourself. Start them with I am, right? Just say I am, and then the first word that comes to your mind, just write it. And once you do like five or six of them, then it's going to start flowing, and they're just going to flow. So the first few might be tricky, but once you get into it, it will flow. So some examples, like rough examples, is I am tall, I have blue eyes, I am shy, no one likes me, I'm a traitor, I don't have enough money, I don't have what it takes, I am out of shape, I don't have enough time to go to the gym, I'm not good enough, good things take time, I have everything I need, right? You're basically trying to identify what that little voice in your head is repeatedly telling you all the time. And you're just drawing it out and listening it. Now, the third step is once you've finished your list, once you feel like you don't have any more, step away for 10 minutes, grab a glass of water or stretch, give your mind a chance to reset, right? Then come back and read through the list with a pen. And whenever you're looking at each individual bullet point, ask yourself, is this belief serving me? i.e., is it helping me to reach my fullest potential? Or is this belief holding me back? i.e., a negative belief that makes me feel bad about myself and not like who I am. So we're going to go through step 4 or step 3. So the list of examples I gave you when you're following step 3 is I am tall, that's not holding you back, that's fine. I have blue eyes, not holding you back, it's fine. I am shy, that's a belief that is holding you back, right? It's limiting who you are, it's limiting your potential. Because when you're telling yourself repeatedly that you're shy, that's going to hold you back from pursuing opportunities, from maybe if you get an opportunity to speak on stage or on a call like this, stuff like that, right? I am shy is not going to get you to where you want to be. No one likes me, definitely not going to get you to where you want to be. In this industry, networking is very important. And if you have carry a limiting belief that no one likes you, then it's going to keep you, behind your protective barrier. It's not going to allow you to socialize and network with people who can really help to fuel your success. I am a trader, that's not holding you back, or that's fine. That can keep the way it is. I don't have enough money is definitely a limiting belief because it's a lack mindset. It's coming from a lack mindset, and carrying that belief is going to push you to try and over leverage and stuff like that on the charts. I don't have what it takes, definitely a limiting belief. You're putting yourself down. I am out of shape, also a limiting belief. I don't have enough time to go to the gym, also a limiting belief. It's coming from a place of lack again. I am not good enough also, right? Good things take time, positive belief that's fueling you towards your success, towards your goals. And I have everything I need is from a place of abundance, right? So I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time is lack mindset beliefs. I have everything I need is abundant, right? So the next one is, the next step is whenever you've finished scoring them out and you figured out which ones are serving you and which ones are holding you back, right? You get a new piece of paper and you draw a line down the middle. So create 2 columns. Now, in the left-hand column, you're going to list the limit and beliefs. So take all the bullet points that you've put a line through on the first list, which are the negative beliefs that are holding you back, and rewrite them in the left column of the new sheet of paper, right? So you now have a list of limiting beliefs personal to you, which are stored in your subconscious mind. Beliefs that have most likely been passed on to you by others that you're still carrying and need to get rid of. So now you know which specific areas you need to put work into reprogramming, right? And these are the types of tasks and stuff you need to do to reflect and figure out your subconscious and your limiting beliefs, because mentors can teach you trading strategies, they can teach you confirmation checklists, they can teach you how to read candlesticks, but they can't teach you which limiting beliefs are holding you back, because that's completely personal to you. And we all have completely different backgrounds. We were brought up in different environments, different people raised us. We have different life experiences that has shaped our subconscious mind and our limiting beliefs. So everyone's different with this, and it's really important that you do the internal work, the shadow work, to figure this out, which is personal to you. No one can teach you this stuff. They can teach you how to do it like I'm doing, but they can't teach you exactly what it is you need to rewire. You need to do this yourself. And to do that, you need to build up self-awareness, which is done through meditation. So now you have a list of which specific areas you need to put work into reprogramming, right? And that takes us into the next step. So now in the right column, write the complete opposite of that belief in a positive way. So for I am shy, the opposite of that would be I am confident. I am not good enough. The opposite of that would be I am enough. For no one likes me, the opposite would be I am loved. And for I don't have what it takes, the opposite of that would be I am successful, right? And do you notice how all of our affirmations in the right-hand column start with I am? I'm going to explain why in a minute. But you are rewriting these and you're flipping the script, right? So that little voice in your head that's constantly telling you, I am shy, I am shy. Now you've figured that out. You've flipped it to I am confident. And now you can recite I am confident to yourself, preferably in the morning or in the night when you're in those brainwave frequencies that we talked about that helps you to access your subconscious. So the more you recite these positive affirmations that are personal to you, the faster you're going to reprogram your subconscious mind. Now, moving into affirmations, for those of you that don't know what they are the practice of positive thinking and self-empowerment. So they allow you to overcome self-sabotaging and negative thoughts or beliefs. So the reason we should start our positive affirmations with I am is so that we are inviting our new way of thinking into the present tense. So if you're constantly telling yourself, I will be a successful trader, I will be profitable, I will have $1 million in funding, you're pushing your success further into the future and you're reaffirming to yourself that you're an unsuccessful trader. So every time you say I will be, you're reaffirming I'm not right now. So therefore, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind to believe that success is out of reach for you and that it's far away in the distance. However, if you tell yourself, I am a successful trader every morning, this invites success into the present, not the future. And if you do this every day, you're eventually going to believe it. And therefore, your success in trading will come to you a lot faster because you're going to start acting like a successful trader, right? If you're constantly telling yourself, I will be a successful trader one day, that's giving you room to make more mistakes than you need to right now, right? Whereas if you're saying to yourself, I'm a successful trader now, you're going to think, you're going to act, you're going to behave like a successful trader. You're going to limit your risk. You're going to wait patiently for high quality setups. You're going to follow your plan, right? You'll find solutions to your problems with ease, helping you to have more breakthroughs in a shorter space of time through the law of attraction. So now we covered affirmations, you understand how to find a list of affirmations that are personal to you. You understand what to do with them. Put them on your wall, on your screensaver, somewhere you can see them every morning and every night, and try your best to go through them and list some gratitudes as well. Okay, so moving into the 4 types of fear. We have fear of losing, fear of being wrong, fear of missing out, and fear of letting a profit turn into a loss, right? And I want to mention greed here for a second. You hear a lot of people being, talking about their trading day and saying, oh, I was up 3%, but I kept trading and I lost it. I was just so greedy. Why do I have to be so greedy? And I think the thing a lot of people are missing is that greed is actually instilled with fear, right? Fear is the fear is the root cause of greed. So when it looks and feels like you're being greedy on the charts, it's actually just fear disguised as greed. And it comes from carrying a scarce or lack mindset, right? So whenever you're telling yourself, oh, I messed up my profits today because I was being greedy, actually it was fear that fueled your decisions to lose those profits, right? Not greed. Greed underlined with fear looks like taking more risk, taking more trades than you should, being afraid of losing profits and closing positions early. And we're going to talk through these different types of fears and the solutions. So the first is fear of losing. This happens whenever you're too attached to the outcome of a trade. So if you're focusing on how much money you will make if your TP gets hit and then price comes to your stop loss, you didn't just lose a certain percentage of your account, but in your head you lost a payout that could improve the standard of your lifestyle. So fear of losing can stem from external pressures, right? It can come from setting the wrong expectations, and it can also stem from external pressures. So maybe you can't afford to take a loss and you're over risking because you're fearful of the situation that you're currently in getting worse and you see this as the only way out. The solution is to understand the law of probability and that losing is a necessary part of the game. Instead of relying on trading profits to pay your bills, try to work on making enough income outside of the charts, right? If you've just received your first ever prop firm payout, if you've just received your first ever funded account and you're thinking of quitting your job and putting in your notice and cutting off your only salary, I promise you that's the worst idea you can do, right? It might work for some people, but it didn't work for me. As soon as I reached funding with FTMO in 2020, 2021, I quit my job and it put me back a lot, right? I had to put out a CV, look for jobs again. It took me 3 times of quitting a full-time job to take trading full-time before I actually done it. So I left my last job in May last year. So I've been full-time for around a year and a half now, right? But if you have a fear of losing, then you need to make sure that you're making enough money outside of the charts, right? Don't cut off your only source of income, stable income. Make sure that you are making enough money from your job to cover your bills. That's going to help you to remove this fear of losing. So that way you can focus solely on price action and less on your P&L, and therefore be able to take losses with less emotion. Moving on to fear of being wrong. The primary cause of this fear is a lack of trust in your analysis. So this might be because you haven't tested your strategy enough or you don't have a trading plan in place. Another reason could stem from having a perfectionist mindset. So if you're searching for a strategy that will give you a 100% win rate, right? 100% certainty in what price action will do next, I promise you this is impossible. No strategy is going to give you 100% certainty or win rate over a long period of time. So school taught us that being wrong was bad, for example, right? We got told off for failing tests. Therefore, social programming has programmed us to believe that to be a winner means we must never lose. So this fear of being wrong stems from the way a lot of us were brought up, the way a lot of us were taught in school. Like if we failed an exam, if we got bad grades, we were punished for it, right? We were shouted at it, we were shouted at, and we were taught that losing or failing is a really bad thing. And that's probably why a lot of us are so scared of being wrong on the charts. It stems from that, right? And that's going back to what I mentioned, how our subconscious mind was basically a sponge until we were 7 years old. So a lot of what we were taught in schools by teachers is what's impacting our actions and behaviors on the charts today. So the solution to the fear of being wrong is reaffirm to yourself that trading is a statistical game. Sometimes your strategy will give you wins, but it will also give you losses. So remember that having a 100% strike rate over a long period of time is impossible. And there's no way of predicting what the market will do next, right? We can use patterns, we can use technical analysis, entry models, right? But at the end of the day, that's not giving us certainty. That is giving us higher probability, right? That's why we talk about high quality and low quality setups. We don't talk about certain and uncertain setups, right? Because nothing in trading is certain. But it's all about probability. So the only thing you can actually be wrong about is the actions you take outside of your trading plan, right? We have no control over where price action goes next. The only thing we can control is how much we risk, where we get in, where we set our stop loss or TP, and how we manage our position, right? That's all we have control over. We only have control over our trading plan. Now, the next fear is fear of missing out, also known as FOMO. So this manifests whenever you jump into a trade midway through a move because you don't want to lose out on an opportunity to make money. And this fear shows that you have a strong desire to make money at every single opportunity, even when the conditions do not meet your trading plan. So another sign of this is, just say you missed a huge move one day and then you go onto the charts the next day with a determination to make money. That is residual emotions from the day before affecting your trading decisions today, right? It's recency bias. So the solution to FOMO is to journal your trades and record your emotions at the time of entering. If you go chasing the market, you need to know what you were thinking in that moment, right? This is going to help you to find patterns. We need to separate avoiding a trade and missing out on a trade. So just because a trade would have played out in your favor doesn't make it a missed trade. If it didn't match your entry model criteria and you didn't take it, you did not miss that trade, right? The only thing we have control over, like I mentioned, is how well we follow our plan. We don't have control over where price goes next. So reaffirm to yourself that there will be other opportunities, and this also comes with experience on the charts when you see opportunities reappear over time. I was scared to miss a single opportunity in my first 2-3 years of trading. I was taking every single trade I could see. And over time, the thing that helped me to overcome that over time was just building up more experience and realizing, like, why am I panicking to try and find opportunities whenever there's literally a new opportunity every single day? So the more experience you build up, the more you're going to chill out a bit. But if you want to speed that up and get over that sooner rather than later and save yourself a lot of time and money, then you can do that by making sure you're putting this in your positive affirmations. Now, the last one is fear of letting a profit turn into a loss. So this is a very natural response as there's real money on the line, right? However, If your trading plan tells you to wait for a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, if that's your style of trading, before taking profit, and you're consciously closing your trades at 1 to 1 or less, you're conditioning yourself to believe that you can make money by not following your plan, which in the long run will lead to more losses, right? So the more actions you take outside of your trading plan and the more you get rewarded for that, the harder it's going to be for you to follow your plan in the future, right? Because your subconscious is going to kick in and say, oh, well, you've over leveraged before, you've closed your wins early before, and it's worked out for you in the past. So let's just try it again now. So it's really important that you have a trading plan in place and you try your best to follow it as early as possible, and it's going to save you a lot of hassle in the future. So the solution to this fear is, instead of closing your profits early, just move your stop loss to break even so that you've removed risk, so that you've taken a risk off the table. Just let it play out. And try to set and forget. Don't sit staring at your MetaTrader or whatever platform you're using, and whether it's ThinkTrader or whatever. Don't sit and stare at it, right? Don't watch your P&L, your balance equity fluctuate. Otherwise, you will more than likely close the position early and add to losing positions through over leveraging, right? Because if you're panicking and you're trying to avoid taking a loss, you're going to make these emotionally fueled decisions to try and avoid it, which actually leads to bigger losses. So try to make sure you have a trade management plan in place, a risk management plan in place, and that you always secure partials instead of closing the entire position, right? I personally don't secure partials. It's not a part of my trading plan, but I know a lot of people do, and it works out for them. So this is probably a solution if you feel like you're always closing your winners early, is just secure partials instead, move your stop loss to break even, and just let it run. So there's loads of different ways you can tackle this, but I think the first step is just having self-awareness to recognize that this is a problem you're suffering from. And then moving into tilt. For anyone who hasn't heard of tilt, tilt is the state of mind in which a trader is making decisions purely on emotion rather than technical analysis and skill. So tilt is a term that has derived from poker, and it basically means whenever you're trading with your emotions rather than your trading plan. Some signs of tilt is chasing the market instead of letting price come to your points of interest, right? Instead of patiently waiting for your entry opportunity, you're just jumping into trades anywhere. Jumping straight into another trade after your stop loss gets hit, which is known as revenge trading. Another sign is over trading, so taking loss after loss and not stepping away from the charts. Purchasing a new prop firm challenge valuation straight after breaching one, and over risking on a position after a loss or a big win, right? So those are signs that you're in tilt. And this is where recording your emotions in a trading journal will help you. So over time, you will learn to identify early signs before you go into tilt. And therefore, whenever you step away, and therefore you'll learn when to step away from the charts to prevent tilt and protect your account, right? So I mentioned at the start where you know, those days where you start your day with good intentions, you want to follow your plan. At the end of the day, you've blown an account, you've taken a big loss, and you're wondering what's taken over you. There is telltale signs in between where your conscious mind gets shoved out of the way and your subconscious mind takes over. There is signs, but you're going to find that out through meditation and journaling and all this self-reflection. And then whenever you see those signs, that's going to be your trigger to walk away. And that's how you're going to prevent emotional trading. Your emotions are still going to be there, right? We've all heard the sign like we should trade like a robot. It's not possible. We're humans. We have emotions. You can't just shut them off. But emotions can be used as signals. So instead of viewing emotions as your enemy and trying to like shove them down and push them away, if you learn to build up self-awareness and how to work with your emotions, they can be used as signals, and they can be used in your benefit, basically, instead of holding you back. Now, talking about a trading journal, you can journal your trades manually, right? There's two different ways, manual or automatic. And to journal your trades manually, you could use a notebook. You can use a pen and a notebook if you want to do it that way, or you could use Google Docs or some sort of word platform software, anywhere that you can record. I'm going to explain what to record after this actually, but anywhere that you can record manually, right? It takes a lot more time to journal your trades manually, but I find that it's more beneficial with regards to reflection. So the other option is you can use an automated trade journal. So you could use TradeZella or Edgewonk. So I have TradeZella, but I also like journaling my trades manually. It's up to you guys. Like I said, I do find that Journaling your trades manually will give you a lot more breakthroughs. It'll help you to identify patterns a lot easier. But on days where you don't have time to journal your trades manually, you can use something like TradeZilla. So that's the idea. I use both. So whenever you're journaling your trades, it's really important that you document why you entered a trade. So your confirmations that pushed you to enter that specific setup, your thoughts and emotions before, during, and after, and which rules in your trading plan you followed and which rules in your trading plan you didn't follow, right? I see a lot of traders who journal their trades, but they're just putting in entry price, exit price, risk to reward, time trade was entered, session, right? Yeah, that's great for helping you to master your strategy and your entry model, but it's not going to help you to reprogram your subconscious mind. Traders that are just journaling their trades from the technical analysis standpoint are probably going to have a bit of difficulty in the future because they've mastered their strategy, they're still not getting the results they want. When if you just record your thoughts and emotions before, during, and after your trade now, as early as you can, you're going to be well ahead of those people that are just documenting entry and exit price, right? It's really important that you're figuring out which rules in your trading plan you followed and which ones you didn't, because if you're repeatedly not following a certain rule, and you can use that in hand with your thoughts and emotions that you're journaling and figure out what it is you need to rewire, right? It's going to lead you towards that limit and belief that you need to rewire. And keeping a journal will help you to increase self-awareness on the areas you need to improve on by shining light on patterns of behavior that are holding you back from reaching your goals, right? Very similar to what we've just covered. But yeah, that's it. So quick summary is it's really important that you bring the right mindset to trading. It's really important that you have some sort of pre-trading ritual or routine. Try to meditate every day. If you can't do it at least a couple of times a week, keep a trading journal, but don't just journal your entry and exit price and all that stuff. Yes, that's important and you should include that, but also include your thoughts and emotions and keep yourself accountable with which rules in your plan you followed and didn't follow. And yeah, that's it. That's me done. I'm on a losing streak. I tend to just step away from live trading and go back to back testing to remind myself that the system I use actually works. I find that if you are on a losing streak, emotions get quite high. It can be easy to revert back to emotional trading, trading in tilt. So it's really important that you take actions to remind yourself of what it feels like and to follow your plan, right? To get that momentum back, because otherwise recency bias can kick in and you might start over leveraging or taking low quality trades out of desperation. So it's really important that you focus on process over profits. So don't look at your P&L, don't look at your equity, don't look at your balance, just focus on price action, focus on your entry model, and focus on following your trading plan. And if you're in drawdown, then reduce your risk a wee bit and just work your way out of it that way. Yeah, I do that as well. I delete MetaTrader off my phone. I have spent around 3.5 years reading 10 pages of a personal development book every morning. I went to a lot of meditation groups. I try to meditate every day. I don't do it every single day, but I try to. I definitely do it a few times a week. I also journal my emotions, not just with trades. Like in the morning, my morning routine is I read 10 pages of my book and I just document how I feel that day. So it doesn't have to be trading related, but that helps me to invite in self-awareness for the day. And it allows me to recognize if my emotions are in control when I'm trading so that I can step away. It's not like it's, these are all traders. You understand that trading isn't like a get rich quick thing. It takes time. Your mindset and your trading psychology takes time too. It's small daily actions every single day. So just because you meditate once doesn't mean you're going to master your psychology, right? Just because you read one book doesn't mean you're going to master it. It takes lots of little actions compounded over a couple of years. So the sooner you start taking your trading psychology seriously, the faster you're going to see results. But I would recommend just making sure you have things to do every single day to help you work towards it. So meditation, journaling, maybe breath work, definitely exercise. It's going to help you to have clarity, and reading some books, listening to podcasts, stuff like that, right? There's loads of free education out there and free resources on YouTube and audiobooks and stuff like that that you can help can use to master your mindset. But I think the first thing you can do is just get education around it, so understand how your brain actually works, and then you can dive deeper into the personal reflection. But learn as much as you can about it. Go onto YouTube, type in trading psychology, and trainings like this that I'm going to be bringing you guys will help you to get awareness on the topic first, and then I'm going to keep giving you guys tasks to do. But I recommend starting with meditation and journaling your emotions. Yeah, I think a lot of people overcomplicate it. It's not that complicated. If you just type in 10-minute guided meditation, just sit somewhere where you know that you're not going to get interrupted. Um, and just listen to what they're telling. Like the guided meditations, they tell you exactly what to do. So it'll be like take a few deep breaths. The reason why most meditations start with a few deep breaths is to put yourself into that theta brainwave state that we talked about to help you access your subconscious. So you just have to sit. It's basically just you keeping your body still, allowing your thoughts to flow, right? You're observing them, you're not judging them, and that's how you're going to be able to identify these patterns and limiting beliefs. But it's just a matter of sitting still for 10 minutes, just giving yourself 10 minutes to sit still. But if you don't know how to meditate, like I wouldn't meditate on my own. I always use guided meditation. So just use YouTube for that and it'll guide you through it. Yeah, journaling your emotions, just keeping yourself accountable and keeping a emotion journal as well as a trading journal is going to help you to build that self-awareness too. But you need some form of like practice. Well, if you don't want to do meditation, maybe it could be exercise for you. But yeah, you just need to find out what works for you. But I would recommend trying meditation. I know it's difficult at first. I was hesitant to do it at the start as well, but you don't need to do it for longer than 5-10 minutes a day, right? 10 minutes is all you need. And if you tell yourself you don't have 10 minutes, then chances are you really need to meditate. I always find the days where I tell myself I'm too busy to meditate are the days that I actually need it the most. So I would just recommend giving it a go. So Best Loser Wins. It's Best Loser Wins. Also, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza is really, really good. Um, Compound Effect. I'm trying to think of what other ones. Yeah, if you go into I've dropped my Instagram handle in the chat. If you go onto my Instagram and go to my highlights, there's one called books, and I've got a ton of different personal development books that I've read over the years in there. So there's loads of good recommendations in there. Yeah, so the sign that I have is what can I do today to make myself better, 1% better than yesterday. It's a quote that I took from Atomic Habits, which is actually a really good book as well. Um, so yeah, I'll type it in the chat. Let me type it out for you. Oh, sorry, I was busy typing. I didn't hear that question. Can you repeat it? Yeah, just forget that you're in drawdown. Just keep trading your plan. If you've back tested your plan and you know it works, I would recommend just forgetting that you're in drawdown, pretend you're not, and just keep trading your plan. If you are finding that you're taking loss after loss, maybe you haven't back tested your strategy, try to reduce risk, but just keep focusing on process over profits. Awesome. I'm going to hop off now then. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to share the recording on my YouTube channel. So for anyone that's jumped in late or has missed it, and you can find it on there. I'll share a link to the video into the general chat whenever I've posted it. Awesome. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you. Bye.